The Lady in Black, the track Too Tough to Tame. Those are two of the names that drivers and fans have given Darlington Raceway over the years. The oldest speedway on the NASCAR circuit, Darlington Raceway's egg-shaped configuration has been perplexing racing drivers and mechanics since it opened in 1950 with the inaugural running of the Southern 500. The track was built on an old farm in the middle of rural South Carolina, and its unique shape is the legacy of a minnow pond that the farmer who owned the land wasn't willing to give up. Minnows still swim in that pond 7 decades later, and while lap speeds have risen to nearly 180 miles an hour, a car set up just right for one end of the 1.36-mile oval still won't handle on the other. The fastest lap times are achieved with a compromise. The car, it isn't perfect at either end of the racetrack, but a talented driver can coax the car quickly enough through both sets of corners. When it comes to the true Darlington legends, however, two drivers stand apart from the rest. Dale Earnhardt Sr. won here 9 times. Quote, "You never forget your first love," Earnhardt was quoted as saying. Whether it's a high school sweetheart, a faithful old hunting dog, or a fickle racetrack in South Carolina with a contrary disposition. And if you happen to be a race car driver, there's no victory so sweet, so memorable, as a whipping at Darlington Raceway. It's race 3 of the IROC Challenge Series, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Darlington Raceway for race number 3 of the IROC Challenge Series. Under the lights here tonight at Darlington. Take a look at the details before we get too deep into things. 73 degrees Fahrenheit, ambient temperature, 55% humidity, clear skies, just a tiny bit of breeze, and track temperature 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Actually rather cool here, should make for a little bit better handling race car, and well, with these Gen 4 Cup cars, we need all the handling we can get. With that, let's go trackside, see where everyone's shaking out in practice. Aaron Smith is your fastest so far, 29.18. Ryan Honeycutt, second quick, 29.22. Just under 2 minutes remain in the practice session. We'll get right into qualifying. So your top 5, Aaron Smith, Honeycutt, then you've got Kevin McCann, Brian McCann, and then the 2 of Neil Quick. Just about everybody within the top 17, top 18 drivers, all under 30 seconds for their lap times. Those of you looking at the timing tower seeing no number indicated for Ryan Honeycutt, really not sure why it continues to do that. It's been a plaguing issue since race 1, but he is the number 18, in case anybody's wondering. Still working on that behind the scenes, trying to get that to display properly, but to no avail. So we'll mention it a couple of times tonight, make sure everybody knows who's behind the wheel. That number 18 is indeed Ryan Honeycutt. Aaron Smith effectively wins the practice session with his fast time. And we're not going to waste any time whatsoever here. We're going to get right into qualifying. See who takes to the track first. Aaron Smith parks it on pit lane before anyone else at this point. We'll see if he sits there, kind of let the track cool off just that much more. He rolls. Can't be too patient on pit lane there. It's only a 5-minute session. I know it only takes about 30 seconds to get around here, but in case there's a problem, you've got time to fix things. Wow, Aaron Smith way up the racetrack. He's going to get a big run out of turn 4 here to start his lap. It's a green flag in the air for Aaron Smith. Oh, he loses it out of turn 2. Does he keep it off the wall? He does. That's going to get a lot of heat. Well, it doesn't, actually. He gets the outside safer barrier. We talked about what if. See if he can recoup from that. He luckily didn't complete that lap, so he may still have one lap to try and qualify. Go back to the pits and try that one all over again. But we're with Kevin McCann now on his first time lap. Kevin McCann fastest so far, 29.52. Sorry, Brian McCann, but Kevin McCann goes third quick with a 61. Meanwhile, the 82, Stan Carnathan goes a 29.48. We'll see if Kevin can pick it up here and move his way up the board. He's continuing to fall now back to P4. The 32 at Johnston shows the same lap time, just a tick faster, but Brian McCann goes P1, 29.34. Kevin McCann out of turn 4. Let's see where he can land. Lap 2 for the 33, 29.238 miles per hour. I'm sorry, seconds. He puts him top of the board provisionally for now with just about 2.5 minutes remaining in the qualifying session. Neil Quick just wrapping up his lap. He puts it outside front row at 29.29. Aaron Smith does end up getting a lap in after that mistake out of turn 2 on his first lap. 29.41. He sits 7th on the board. Pretty good recovery thus far. Mike McDonald just about to cross the line. 15th. Does he go better? A little bit. P14, 30.033 for Mike McDonald. Adam Johnson up the racetrack in the wall. He bounces it off the safer barrier. Has to lift out of the throttle off of 4. We'll see what that does to his lap. Drove it in real deep in 1 and 2. Kept it out of the wall. This is his first time lap. Well, maybe his second. Oh, gets into the fence. That's going to negate the lap entirely. Johnson out of turn 4. RPM seem a little bit down. I don't really think he's going to get a lap that's going to count for this. Still a good handful of drivers that haven't taken a time, though. Doug Thomas, Doug Wysocki, Matt Kopp, Jeff No. Rick Kelly, though he is finished up. Looks like he took 2.6 laps. I don't think one counted. He could have been in the fence. That does cause that to not display. So a few guys that are going to start in the back for either having issues in qualifying or just opting not to take the lap. Jeff No sits in pit lane. Only 30 seconds in the session to go. I don't think he's going to have enough time if he just sits there, but we'll see how this one pans out. Nope, shuts it off. So just about 20 seconds officially remaining in the session before we can call it official. That is going to wrap it up. 5 minutes have expired. Session in the books. And we're going to jump right into our warm-up session. So with that, We'll take a quick break here, and we'll be back with our starting grid after this. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
R&R Racewear, your source to all custom racewear apparel needs, and home to iRacing apparel. Check it out today at rnrracewear.com.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
that baby of mine. Well, I just don't know. Have mercy, brother.
R&R Racewear, your source to all custom racewear apparel needs, and home to iRacing apparel. Check it out today at rnrracewear.com.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook. Back at Darlington Raceway for the third race of the season of the IROC Challenge Series. Let's take a look at our starting grid on the pole with a lap time of 29.238 seconds. It's the 33 of Kevin McCann. Outside front row in the second starting position, it is the 2 of Neil Quick. Starting third, number 82 of Stan Carnathan. Fourth goes to Brian McCann. Brandon Mefford's going to start the number 83 in the fifth position, with Ryan Honeycutt starting in his outside in P6. Aaron Smith, the number 70, starts in the 7th position. 8th goes to Garrett Johnston. 9th starter, it's the 4 of Jaden Hopp, with the 00 of Mike Coach starting 10th. Tim Schofield starting 11th. Chris Wally will roll from the 12th starting position. 13th starter, Trevor Quick in the 5. Mike McDonald will roll 14th. Larry Bruner starting from the 15th position, with 16th going to Josh Braley. John Osborne, 17th. Jeff No, 18th. Doug Wysocki, the 34, starts 19th. Josh Funkhauser, 20th. 21st goes to Adam Johnson. 22nd, Rick Kelly with Chaos Motorsports. 23rd, it's Matt Kopp in the number 22. And last but not least, the number 47 of Doug Thomas. It's your starting grid from Darlington Raceway. Field starting to grid up. In fact, working off turn number 2 already. Let's go down trackside. Be ready for the green. Field working off turn number 4. Pace car has ducked down pit lane. Barney the flagman with the green in hand. Field approaching the Geico restart zone.
Be ready, green flag.
We're racing from Darlington Raceway. Full skirmish at the back of the pack off of turn number 2. Looks like everybody keeps it straight down the road. On to turn number 4 for the first time of the day. Kevin McCann up top. Looking to the inside, it's Neil Quick, but Kevin McCann is going to lead lap number 1. First couple of laps in the books. Everybody trying to get into a good rhythm here. Take care of your tires. That's job number 1. Take care of the right side of the car. That's job number 2. Got to imagine, though, just about everybody likely to get a piece of that outside safer barrier and get that infamous Darlington stripe. Current top 5, it's Kevin McCann, Neil Quick, the 83 Brandon Mefford, then Stan Carnathan and Ryan Honeycutt. McCann comfortably in the lead, only a couple car lengths back to the 2 of Neil Quick. This is a track that sits right in the wheelhouse of Neil Quick. Yes, he's got some pace here early on, but he's also pretty good with tire strategy. We'll see how that pans out here for the balance of this race. Again, 122 laps the race distance, so very early on. Drivers just trying to see where they stack up against the competition. Quick taking a look to the bottom here into turn 3. Quickly and easily takes the spot. Again, I think it's in everyone's best interest. The car behind is just that much faster this early on. Just let him go. No sense in battling real hard for those spots, because all you're going to do is heat up those tires underneath you. Find yourself slipping to the back after that. So Neil Quick with the race lead, about a quarter second, maybe 3/10 to Kevin McCann in P2. Looks like Kevin McCann has company again. Brandon Mefford all over his back bumper, a few feet off the back bumper. Stan Carnathan also just about a car length and a half off the back of the 83. I'd expect Ryan Honeycutt to have some pace here later on, but meanwhile, Kevin McCann has gone back to the point. Very quickly slides underneath to the bottom, puts Neil Quick back to P2. Now Mefford up into the 3rd spot. Now he's attacking Neil Quick. He goes to the inside down the Boeing backstretch. Move Brandon Mefford to P2, but maybe we got a crossover. Now it looks like Neil thought about it, but you know what? Again, it's early. Let's save our tires. Now you see it there. Quick does check up a little bit more. Lets the 82 of Carnathan go on by. Don't be concerned with this, folks. Again, we talked about Neil being able to manage a race, take care of his tires. It may just be the strategy call that he's employed right now. Take care of his car, take care of the tires, be there at the end of the run. With that said, again, only 2 sets of tires available over the wall for these drivers here tonight. Honeycutt hanging in the 5th spot still. Hasn't closed too much ground in the back of Neil Quick. He's got Garrett Johnston out the back window in P6. Check out Brian McCann, though. He has slipped back 3 spots to P7 since the start of the race. Again, don't be alarmed at that. McCann usually pretty good at saving tires as well. We expect to see that be the case here tonight. Aaron Smith, after his poor qualifying effort, starting 7th, now runs in the 8th position. I say poor qualifying effort. He started 7th, but that's just a little uncharacteristic for the 70. Ooh, Mefford a little slippery on a turn number 4. Had to catch the rear end of the car. Does a good job in doing just that. Continues on in the 2nd position. Carnathan starting to apply some pressure here to the back. About a car length and a half, maybe back to the number 82. Down the backstretch once again, McCann still with the race lead. Mefford's right there, though, less than 2/10 was the deficit on turn 3 entry, but McCann way up the racetrack, just barely off that safer barrier. That's the way to go around this place. You can get it right up against the wall without touching the wall. As long as she sticks, you're good to go. Quick maintaining the 4 spot. Honeycutt still 5th. Back through the rest of the top 10 here. Garrett Johnston in P6, number 32 machine. Brian McCann still 7th. Aaron Smith down to the 8th position. Jaden Hopp still running 9th. That's where he started today, as did Mike Coach in the 10th position. Chris Wally in the 51, running back in the 11th spot, up 1 position. Timmy Schofield running in the 12th spot. Every time I look at that thing, I think Ryan Newman. It's pretty close. John Osborne in P13, he's up 4 positions. Michael McDonald in 14th, started 14th. Josh Funkhauser in the 15th position, the number 81. He's up 5 spots. So far, the biggest mover of the day. Just got to make you wonder, did he get lucky with some good passes, or is he pushing a little bit too hard? He's in a good spot. He's picked up some positions. But you got to wonder what the expense was. Was it taking care of the tires, or was it not? Back out front, McCann now extending his lead just slightly over the 83 of Brandon Mefford. Actually gets a piece of the wall with that right rear. We talked about it early on. I think just about everybody is going to get a piece of that safer barrier of one shape or size before the end of the night. Again, I want to talk about pit stops. 65% capacity on the fuel cells here tonight. Expect to see pit stops a little bit sooner than you would typically expect at most places. At least different leagues running a full maximum capacity fuel tank. Top three pretty tight together once again, and Neil Quick has moved back into that third spot, and he's also knocking down the door for P2. And we talked about it. It wasn't too long ago that Quick was up in the lead, then he slipped back to fourth, and we said, don't worry, folks, he's just saving his stuff. It seems to be that's the case. He's gotten back around the 82. 19 laps in here at Darlington Raceway. Kevin McCann still leading from the pole position. Coming to lap 20, McCann puts another one up on the board. Brandon Mefford, Neil Quick all in a line here at the front of the field. Nobody being super aggressive, but a big run for Brandon Mefford in the middle of 1 and 2. He got back to the throttle way earlier than Kevin McCann. Actually had to lift and check up, and it really hurt his exit at 2 because it's opened the door for Neil Quick. Quick goes to the bottom, takes that second spot, tries the slide job, but gives Mefford a little bit more room. So move Neil Quick up into the second spot. Still Ryan Honeycutt back in P5. Last lap for Neil Quick was about 4/100ths of a second faster than Kevin McCann. And we got a battle for the lead here in the middle of 3 and 4. Quick to the inside, McCann up top. Neil in that white, black, and red number 2 on the bottom, a little loose on corner exit. The run is going to go to the 33. Still the battle continues, but looks like Kevin lets him go into turn 1. They slide up the racetrack. Neil Quick back to the point, lap 22. And Kevin McCann losing connection for a moment there. He's back in, thankfully for that. It's a scary moment for the 83 of Mefford. We'll ride on board with him, but if this happens again, you see what it looks like from his perspective as we do have a camera buried right in the helmet of the driver here as they work into turn 3. If McCann blinks out again, it becomes a guessing game for the driver. When and where does the car that disappeared reappear? Hopefully it's pretty quickly. Big time, hopefully. It's not on the hood of your car. Mefford driving that race car with the throttle big time. That steering wheel's hardly turned to the left at all, and if anything, it's even turned to the right, trying to catch the slide. Tough place to get around here in this Gen 4 Cup car. Mefford losing ground a little bit to Kevin McCann here, but he's got company in the rearview mirror. It's the 82 of Stan Carnathan. Ryan Honeycutt's closed in just a bit too. This is making this battle a true top 5 fight. So we're 25 laps in of 120. Yeah, Jerry Krause says, I can't read the leaderboard at all, too blurry. Well, I don't know if you're on a phone or a TV. I'm on a phone, and it's crystal clear on my end. Maybe change your resolution. That would be my guess. Start there. Sometimes you'll lose some visual quality based on your internet connection, but everything's very clean and sharp over on our end. Coming to lap 27, it's still Neil Quick at the point. Kevin McCann wisely just letting the two go. We saw the two of them exchange positions early. In both cases, it was a very quick exchange of position. It wasn't a drawn-out battle. That's smart heads-up racing by both of the drivers, taking care of their equipment, taking care of the tires. Yeah, Jerry, if you're on the cellular network and not Wi-Fi, that sometimes can cause issues as well. Just depends. I run into it once in a while, too. Tight battle here at the front of the field, the top 3 all together, but Kevin McCann still all over the back of the 2 of Neil Quick. They work down the back straightaway. It's just a 10th and a half gap back to the 33. Slow car up front, the 35 of Larry Bruner. I think he might have scraped the wall with the right sides just a bit. Leader's bearing down. We'll see if he just stays where he's at. Looks like that's going to be the case. Going to force the leaders to the bottom. Real quick, trying to slide up. Loses the nose just a bit. Bruner not wanting to go down a lap. Now Bruner becomes the first car one lap down. Really tight battle here right now. Kevin driving it in, not as deep as the two. Backs up his entry a bit, gets back to the gas, but nowhere to go.
Caution.
And caution on the speedway.
Caution for correct.
Caution on the speedway. Lap 31 up on the board. And I believe this is our stage. So 31 coming to 32 laps in the books. Neil Quick, Kevin McCann, Brandon Mefford, Stan Carnathan, Ryan Honeycutt, the top five. Brian McCann, Aaron Smith, 6th, 7th, 8th is the 32 of Johnston. 9th, Hop. 10th, Coach. 11th is Timmy Schofield. John Osborne, 12th. Chris Wally, 13th. Josh Funkhauser, 14th. And 15th is Jeff No. 16th, Mike McDonald. Doug Wysocki, 17th. Matt Kopp, 18th. 19th is Trevor Quick. Rick Kelly, 20th. And Adam Johnson, 21st. The last car on the lead lap. Real Quick going to bring the field down into pit lane for the first pit stops of the day. Now, given they've only got 2 change sets, I'm just curious who is going to opt to go without tires. 30 laps under the green flag. It's a ways to go, but if you take that set now, you're going to have to stretch that set for quite some time to save one for the end. We'll see if these guys chance it here and go fuel only, but man, you're going to have to be careful on that restart if you don't change it. We'll see what happens. Looks like Neil Quick, Kevin McCann, everybody really in that top 5 going to go fuel only. It's a long stop just for fuel, but they want to save those tires. Neil Quick finishes up his stop. He's out ahead of the rest of the field. He's going to retake the top spot. And with that, we're going to take a chance here, get a quick break out of the way. We'll be right back. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
R&R Racewear, your source to all custom racewear apparel needs, and home to iRacing apparel. Check it out today at rnrracewear.com.
checkered flag. Contact and Brian Rose wins it. A photo finish at the line. Oh, we got a wreck. Will Hewitt's through the trial for the final time, and oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short. Back at Darlington Raceway, race number 3 of the IROC Challenge Series. Field formed up 2 by 2 as they work out of turn number 2. Going to go in green the next time by. This race back underway. Official pit stops coming at lap 32 for just about all. Going to get the restart here at lap 35. Pace car pulls off. Once again, Barney with the flag in hand. Field working out of turn number 4. Approaching the Geico restart zone. Green flag. Brian McCann up the racetrack just a bit. Neil Quick's going to maintain the top spot. But Aaron Smith now into that 3rd position. A quick pit stop got him up a little bit more track position. In the 3rd spot ahead of Brian McCann, and then 5th is Brandon Mefford. To the inside, Kevin McCann making a move for the lead into turn number 3. Slides up, has to lift to avoid contact. Can't keep it pinned down there. Won't stick. Lost the stripe. Neil Quick still leads over Kevin McCann, Aaron Smith, Brian McCann, Brandon Mefford. Back to the inside. Kevin McCann's looking. Still side by side out of turn number 4. Back to the stripe. Wasn't by much, but Neil Quick led that one. Up the racetrack, a little bit of contact. Kevin drives it in deep, tries the slide job, gets into the left front fender of Neil Quick. Lucky that didn't end in disaster. Very easily could have taken out both drivers in front of the field as Neil Quick does the same into turn number 3. He's like, 2 can play at that game. Back to the point, Neil Quick. Great battle here at the front of the field, back and forth between the 2 and the 33. Aaron Smith just sitting there going, yep, keep it up, boys. Keep wearing out your stuff. You got a guy like Aaron Smith on the track. Giving him anything is not the way to do it. Kevin McCann pushing once again, less than a car length off the back bumper of Neil Quick. Will ride on board. And Neil Quick driving it very deep into the corner. Kevin McCann looking again. Back to the inside. Turn number 1. Doesn't have the room to slide up once again, but now he gets the power down. Neil's going to tuck back in. Is he going to try and cross him over again? Not this time. Kevin McCann back to the lead. Just past 3rd distance. Field working off turn number 4. Top 5 all in a group at the stripe. McCann, Neil Quick, Aaron Smith, Brian McCann, and then Ryan Honeycutt. Familiar names here at the front of the field. Once again, though, watching most of these drivers, there's not a ton going on. Everybody's minding their P's and Q's with the exception of our race leaders. Everybody lined out pretty well single file without any crazy action going on. Gives us an opportunity here. Wow, that's kind of happening. We'll take an HBR TV side-by-side break. We'll be right back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Darlington Raceway, lap 50 up on the board. Kevin McCann with the biggest lead of the night, just over 1.1 seconds. But meanwhile, Aaron Smith has gotten around the 2 of Neil Quick. Again, relatively uncontested. Neil trying to save his stuff after battling with Kevin McCann early in this run. Keeping in mind, these drivers did all pit, but a lot of them opted for fuel only. We'll see how that shakes out all of this. It seems Mike Coach may have taken his first set of tires on that stop. He's running in the 9th position, the 00, but looking at the pit stop times, unless they just had a mistake or cost themselves a little bit of time in the box, it seems that most of the drivers went fuel only on this first stop. Here we are already, that was almost 20 laps ago, lap 32. Here we are, lap 51 and some change as Kevin McCann just clicking off laps right now. Out of turn 4, it's going to be 52 going up. Checking on lap times, the last time by, Aaron Smith was indeed faster than Kevin McCann, but only about 0.03 of a second. Kevin ran a 31.03 at Aaron Smith's 31 flat. definitely a place that rewards the consistency, though. If you can hit your marks perfectly every lap, don't abuse the race car, just run solid, consistent laps, lap after lap. Usually you'll end up with a solid finishing position well within the top 5, sometimes maybe even a win. It's not always about being the quickest here. Well, Neil Quick has fallen back a little bit further now into the clutches of Brian McCann. Cam with a run out of turn 4, gets alongside of Neil Quick. McCann gets on by, takes the 3rd spot. Ryan Honeycutt dropping down to the inside. I don't know if he's trying to break the draft just a bit from the 4 of Jaden Hobb. Last lap, though, Hopp and Honeycutt ran identical lap times, and it seems Hopp's a little bit quicker. Oh, in trouble! Honeycutt gets loose out of turn 4 in front of the 4. Still no caution. We got 3 cars involved in this incident here on the front stretch, and the yellow doesn't come out. Never would have seen that. We saw a little bit of that last week, actually, with that. Nope, there it is. A little late, but it's out now. We saw a big incident in a race in Atlanta, and it wasn't in this series, but same situation happened. We had 3 or 4 trucks airborne in the dog leg, and the yellow didn't come out. And the next time by, we had a guy spinning on the apron, nobody around him, yellow. But nonetheless, our second caution of the evening, first for cause. Go back and look at it here. Saw Honeycutt loose out of 4. I want to back it up a little bit further. I want to look at this first from the onboard of the 4. I don't know if there was some contact in the middle of the corner. Go on the roof cam, and we'll go full speed here. Out of turn number 4. Yeah, Honeycutt definitely gets loose out of the corner, but doesn't look like the 4 cut him a whole lot of a break. This is going to be a good blimp shot, a little loose. Obviously broke his momentum, but you heard the 4 lift and then get back into it. It was only once he got back into it that contact was made. Might have expected Honeycutt to be back to the gas sooner than that. Hard to say, but we're not even halfway. You got to kind of cut a guy a break there. So Honeycutt still sits in his pit box. Meanwhile, Aaron Smith's going to duck down pit lane as well. A lot of drivers opting already to do this. Their pit stops complete. Drivers taking tires this time. Now Aaron Smith made a stop for fuel only. It looks like he's going to come back down because he didn't take the tires. I don't know if he did on that first stop, but if he's taking tires now, his last set, I can't imagine. I don't know. That's a long ways to go here in Darlington on one set. Now just topping off for fuel. So that gives the lead back to Kevin McCann. Brian McCann's going to be second. Then it's Neil Quick in the third spot. Official iRacing pace car still on the speedway, lights on. Expecting to get the 1 to go signal the next pass by. Field gets the one to go. Wave around cars headed by the pace car. Foreman back up 2 by 2. Will be green flag racing the next time by. It'll be lap 59 as we get the green flag. So starting on the bottom, it'll be Kevin McCann in the 33, brother Brian McCann in the 3 up top. And it's Garrett Johnson in the 32, Neil Quick in the 2. That's your top 4 as they work turn number 4 here, getting ready for a restart here at Darlington.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air, lap 60 goes up. Turn number 2. Again, the drivers keep things straight. We stay under green. Kevin McCann still leads here at lap 61, looking very, very strong here tonight. Started from pole position. We are past halfway, continues to lead. Brian McCann in the 3 has closed in within just about 2, maybe 3/10 of a second. Third place machine, the number 32, Garrett Johnston. Then it's Neil Quick, Brandon Mefford, the top 5. But here we go again. McCann starting to stretch it out here. Now it's a half second. Checking on Neil Quick. A couple of drivers getting by. Brandon Mefford, Stan Carnathan, both going by the 2. 15-second stop in the pits for Neil Quick, so I would expect him to take tires that last pit stop. Just trying to save him as long as he can to that final run to the finish. We are back into conservative mode here, taking care of equipment front to back. Guys are going to be relatively single file here for a little while. The real racing is not going to start likely until that last set of tires gets bolted on, or maybe not. Maybe just as the race progresses, if the drivers don't need to make a stop for fuel before this one's out, which I'm pretty sure they're going to. Maybe they just save that set of tires for a timely caution. We'll see how that plays out. But again, if we stay green to the finish, drivers are certainly going to need to make a stop for at least fuel. But again, I just can't imagine in this series, as clean as it typically is, do you leave a set over the wall? Do you not utilize it? I think you kind of have to. White coach back in the 20th position. Doug Wysocki running 19th. Doug qualified 19th. He's running 19th so far, just keeping it consistent here tonight. Larry Bruner back in 21st. Chris Wally 22nd currently. A little bit of right front damage on the 51. Might be keeping the outside edge of that right front tire nice and cool, but it's certainly not helping the aero. Chris Wally running in 22nd. back up front. Brandon Mefford maintaining some distance over Carnathan as Carnathan scrapes the wall. He's still trying to gather it back up. That was coming out of turn number 2. Carnathan having a hairy moment. Saves the car. A little bit of right side damage, but man, he's having some struggles in that number 82. Bounces off the wall once again. Slips back to the 7th spot. Jaden Hopp jumps into P6. John Osborne closing in. You hear how gingerly they've got to be on throttle trying to go through these corners. Wide open down the straightaways, but listen to them get into the corner. On the gas. Lift. Lift. Back to the throttle. Wide open. And you've got to be so precise with this Gen 4 Cup car. It's got so much power, just no grip. If you're not paying attention for a split second, a little bit too much throttle on corner exit, you're going to be facing the wrong direction in a hurry. Battle shaping up for P4 once again here. Neil Quick in the 4th spot. Just recently, I think, took that away from Brandon Mefford, but Mefford battling back. Kevin McCann still with the race lead over brother Brian, just about 0.6 of a second the advantage. Neil Quick did a good job saving his stuff, though. He's seemingly starting to pull away from this group with ease. Handling issues present for some of the drivers out there, maybe getting their tires a little too hot. It's not so much as they're wore out. If they get hot, start to melt, they get greasy, they slip and slide, you're out of control. I had to do it. Neil Quick still 4th, a ways to go before he catches up to P3. Garrett Johnson, he's about 2 seconds back. And don't forget though, another pit stop under the green flag likely to come here. If we don't get a caution, they will need to make one more stop for fuel at a minimum. Again, I would anticipate everybody taking tires along with Sunoco Racing fuel for that final run to the finish. We're not quite there yet, I don't believe, but I think we are approaching that fuel window. But with that, before we get to that green flag stop period, let's take another HBR TV side-by-side break. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Darlington Raceway, you see we're under our 3rd caution of the night, and you see why. It was the 0-2 of Adam Johnson. Looks like big trouble out of turn 2. Get one more look at it here. Oh, just comes up on the 81. The 81 gets in the fence and really nowhere for Adam to go. He collects him. Sends him down to the inside wall. A pretty big hit. Does put us under the yellow. 3rd time today. So, the question remains, does this put them in that pit window? Can they go all the way to the end on this tank of fuel? It's lap 77 currently. I don't know. I think they're going to be short, not by a lot. Might be close enough that they can save to the end. A couple of drivers staying on the racetrack. Jaden Hopp, Stan Carr, Nathan John Osborne, Timmy Schofield as well. Definitely both brothers McCann down pit lane. Johnston coming to a stop in his pits. So we'll keep an eye on it. Do they take the tires? No. Fuel only for Brian McCann. Fuel only for Kevin McCann. Who's going to win the race off pit road? Looks like it might have been Brian McCann. No, it's Kevin. Looks like the 33 gets out of there first. Certainly a very close race. Exit of pit lane. Kevin McCann winning that drag race. So again, a few drivers staying on the racetrack. Their last pit stops coming at lap 56. And I don't know, it's a bit of a gamble. I know they're kind of crossing their fingers. Well, maybe we'll get another caution and we can come down then and have a little bit better tire advantage. But the other way to look at it is maybe they know that, well, heck, if we pit now, we can't make it anyway. Might as well stay out and wait. Again, it is a pretty big gamble. It's not the go-to strategy in this case, but Jaden Hopp, Stan Carnathan, John Osborne have cycled themselves up to the top three. Drivers all likely still having a set of tires over the wall, or maybe that's the concern. Maybe they don't have a set of tires over the wall. I don't know. Tough to say. Gotta hire me a pit reporter one of these days. So we're right on board here with Kevin McCann. Race car lights go out, and again, Kevin McCann, Brian McCann, not going to be your race leaders here in this restart. It's going to be Jaden Hopp, Stan Carnathan on the front row. Remember, they stayed out. So did 44 of John Osborne. Again, you talk about being worried about wheel spin on the restarts. That's going to be a threat for all of these drivers because though the top three stayed out, everyone that did pit, with the exception of maybe Aaron Smith, took fuel only. Oh, if Aaron Smith's on fresh rubber, watch out. Keep a close eye on the number 70 there. He's in the outside lane just about all the way to the back, but if he's got fresh tires, he is going to be hard to guard here in the closing laps. Field works through 3 and 4. Again, pace car lights are out. We're going green this time by
Green.
Saw Carnathan get a bad entry into the corner, slid up the racetrack, almost making contact with the safer barrier. Osborne in the second spot, but Kevin McCann putting the pressure on already up in the third position. He's got Carnathan to his rear view. This is where we're going to see if that dirty air makes that much of a difference. Clean air makes a huge difference with these cars in most cases at these racetracks. We'll see if it really affects Kevin McCann. We know he's got pace. And we know he is precise. Man, look how close he can get to that outside wall. Again, Kevin McCann way up the racetrack. So is Osborne, though. He's able to run that ultra-high line as well. Carnathan also following the 33 through. Kevin McCann right there. Hop starting to get away. No, Osborne in the fence. Almost contact with the 33. They get through without major incident. Osborne's going to lose a couple of spots, though. He goes from second back to sixth. Might lose some more here. Still quick gets on by. Osborne just drove it in a little too hard, trying to keep Kevin McCann behind him. So McCann up into the second spot and starting to reel in the 4 already. Lap 85 goes on the board. Carnathan running third, Brian McCann running fourth, Neil Quick in the fifth spot. Well, let's check on Aaron Smith, wheeling and dealing, trying to cut through this field. He's just gone by Brandon Mefford. Now he's got Ryan Honeycutt in his sights. Honeycutt dropping it to the bottom, going to force the 70 up top. No problem, says Aaron Smith. Takes the 8th position away out of turn 4, coming to lap 88. Still plenty of time for the 70 to work his way towards the front, but he's got to do it carefully. Yes, he does have that tire advantage right now. There's no sense in burning them up just to get to the lead and not being able to hold off any challengers. You got to get there safely. Most importantly, again, we talked about it early on, you got to keep heat out of these tires. Yes, you want them a little bit warm, but you don't want them so hot they melt. It's almost impossible to cool them down. Ooh, Osborne loose out of 4, right in front of the 70. Aaron drops to the bottom. We'll see if Osborne slides up the track here, drives it in pretty deep. Oh, big time. Yep, slides it up the racetrack again. A repeat of what we saw a handful of laps ago. Remember, Osborne was running second. He now sits in the 8th position, but gets the wall again. Loses a couple of more spots. 55 and Jeff No goes on by, so now Osborne sitting in the 11th position, now outside the top 10. You got to think that that car is just damaged at this point. Not just visually, he's having a hard time hanging on to it. He's had 2 pretty good impacts into that safer barrier. Right side flattened in pretty good. Yeah, you see he's got some pretty bad right front damage too. That fender pushed in, the right front tire exposed. Checking out Jaden Hopp out front though. He is pulling away from Kevin McCann. It's about 0.8 of a second here, 31 laps to go. Now you got to wonder, is just McCann just saving some tire for the end? Is he done making pit stops, at least for tires? This last stop was fuel only for Kevin. In fact, looking at Jaden Hopp, while he does have tires, but that was a lap 56. So relatively equal footing for the 4 and the 33. Big wiggle for Stan Carnathan. Real quick, maintaining the 4th spot. Remember, he was outside pole sitter here tonight. just waiting to see when the 2 decides to go. We've seen him do it in the past in various leagues where you're just wondering, oh man, why is Neil so off the pace? Why isn't he going? Well, he's taking care of his tires. So he does make a move to the inside of the 82, gets up to the 3rd spot. Aaron Smith's going to follow him through. Remember, Aaron's got fresh rubber underneath him. He's going to make short work of the 2 here. He's going to take the spot. Side by side down into turn number 1. Smith drops it way down into the flat. I say flat, not completely flat, but certainly not as banked as the top portion of the racetrack. Makes it stick. Aaron Smith to P3. Starting to see some drivers hit pit lane. Jaden Hopp, Stan Carnathan alike coming down for their final stop of the day. Again, these drivers made their last stop about lap 56. This would put everybody within their window if they opted to pit now. Battle for the lead. Aaron Smith to the inside of Kevin McCann. There is not much of a battle there. Drops it to the bottom. Hammer down and gone. 0.4 of a second and growing down the Boeing super stretch, or back stretch for that is. So Aaron Smith. Now here's the question. Not really a question per se. I don't think tires are an issue for some of these drivers, but Aaron Smith may have bolted on his last set on that last stop. 25 laps to go. He needs this to go green for it to work out. If caution comes out, he could be in trouble with these drivers that may still have an extra set of tires over the wall. See how it plays out. He's already stretched it to 1.3 seconds now over the 33 of Kevin McCann. Wally underneath real quick. Okay, Wally not on the lead lap currently. Jaden Hopp, remember, pit from the lead. Now finds himself first car 1 lap down. Tim Schofield up into the 8th position. He's made his last stop, lap 78. So he'll need to make a splash for fuel before this one's over. Jaden Hopp, now 14th. Now, if anybody out there wants a caution flag, it's going to be the 4. Again, he's made his last pit stop. He did put tires on, so caution would be beneficial for him in a lot of ways. He'd get a lap back. He'd also be in a good position with some relatively new tires. He would not have to come down pit lane during that yellow. It would put him in a pretty good spot to still be a contender for this. Now it remains to be seen with 21 laps to go. Tim Schofield down pit lane, as well as Trevor Quick, Doug Wysocki. Aaron Smith just tearing it up. 4.5 seconds now over the 33 of McCann. Remember, on the last restart, he was the last car in line on the outside. With that fresh set of tires, carefully worked his way through the field up into the point. Now enjoying almost a 5-second advantage over his second-place machine at Kevin McCann with 19 laps to go. He's won the first 2 races of the season, trying to make it a three-peat here at Darlington. Yeah, Aaron Smith just gaining more and more time every single lap. Last lap it was 5 seconds. Now it's almost 6. Lap times, you want to do that comparison. The last time by Aaron Smith, a 30.70. Second place, Kevin McCann, 31.88. A full second plus slower than the race leader as Smith trying to get through some lap traffic here. Brian McCann gonna hit pit lane. Does he have a set of tires to work with? Yes, he does. 17 to go. Fresh rubber going on the 3. Now with 17 to go, I just don't know if Brian waited too long. We shall see. Aaron Smith again now, 6.5 seconds the advantage with 16 to go. Neil Quick into pit lane. Tires available for the 2 as well. .18 seconds in the box for Neil Quick. Not a great stop. Aaron Smith now with a 7.8 second advantage. It just keeps growing and growing. Still don't know if these guys that are within the top 5 are going to need to pit one final time though, but man, you look at that timing tower. Only the top 4 remain on the lead lap, and here comes Aaron Smith down off the banking. He's going to make that final stop of the day. It's going to be a splash and go. I almost guarantee it. We'll see if he's timed it right. Coming to 15 laps to go. Kevin McCann goes by, but he still needs to make a pit stop. This is where it's going to get interesting here. Is there enough time? A, does Kevin McCann have tires? And B, is there enough time once he takes them to catch the 70 and pass him? Tires going on for Aaron Smith. He went that full half of the race at the beginning without taking them. Aaron Smith down and away. Now 13 to go. Kevin McCann out in front, 5.5 seconds over second place Garrett Johnston. Top 4 still only the lead lap cars. Oh, McCann gets the wall, gets it stuck. Couldn't get off the wall. That's going to cost him some time. We'll see if he comes to pit lane here. Through that exchange, looks like Brandon Mefford had an issue just a couple of laps ago as well. Trying to get a look at that real quick, see what happened to the 83. Again, we did not get a caution, or was this just him coming to pit lane? Oh, went wide. It's going to cost him a ton of track position. So 12 laps to go, and I guess the question is going to be, does Kevin McCann even come to the pits? Remember, his stop came lap 77. There's 2 other drivers that pit with him at that point. It was Garrett Johnston and then Larry Bruner. Bruner running 4th, 1 lap down. I just don't know. I don't know if that's possible. I mean, I suppose it could be. That's 43 laps on a load of fuel. 11 to go. McCann still with the race lead. Now we want to talk about Aaron Smith. Now Aaron Smith currently listed in P4, but he's a lap down, so he's got to make up a lap in the next 10 and then catch leaders. That's if our top three are just able to save enough fuel to not have to pit. As it stands right now, if Kevin McCann has to come down pit lane, he will not come back out with a race lead. In fact, here he comes. Down to the bottom, Kevin McCann, last stop of the day. Is it going to be fuel only? I don't think he can afford to if he's got it set over the wall. Aaron Smith bolted his on. I think he might have waited too long. Kevin McCann in pit lane for the final time. Aaron Smith working the back straightaway. Second place, Garrett Johnston comes down to pit road as well. Jaden Hopp goes to P2. Aaron Smith closing in, and Kevin McCann into his pits. Tires going on the 33 for sure. Kevin McCann down and away at a 2-tire stop for the 33. Aaron Smith has gone on by, so is Jaden Hopp. Remember, he used some pit strategy early on to cycle back to the front, and it looks like it's worked again. He's back out in front here, coming to 8 laps to go, but I don't know, Aaron Smith's coming. Jaden Hopp made his pit stop at lap 93, did get tires. Aaron Smith just ran a 29.40, the fastest lap of the day. About 13 lap newer tires on the number 70. Hopp's got to run for his life. Last lap for Hopp, 1.1 seconds slower than second place Aaron Smith. Hopp closing in on Garrett Johnston in the 17th position. It's a lap car. Wysocki now 15th, the first car 1 lap down. Aaron Smith is getting larger and larger in the rear view mirror of Jaden Hopp. Coming to 5 laps to go. Don't think there's going to be enough here. Smith's going to catch him any minute. In fact, this corner could be it or the next. Smith goes to the top, builds a run. We got a slow car in the fence. That's the 32. Aaron Smith going to cross over here, take a look to the inside for the race lead. At the start-finish line, Hopp still has it with 5 to go. Smith there, a car length off the back bumper of the 4. Here we go again. Aaron Smith putting the power down. Drag race down the backstretch, side by side with the 4 for the race lead into turn number 3. Smith slides to the bottom, goes back up the racetrack and has the 4 clear, coming to 4 laps remaining. Aaron Smith closing in on the 5. It's Trevor Quick. Another lap car. Other cars throwing some sparks just ahead of the 70. That's the 16 machine. It's Michael McDonald. Less than 3 laps to go. Aaron Smith closing in on this lap traffic in a hurry. You've got to be careful. And Aaron Smith with the fresher tires plus a lot of pace. You mix those two together with some lap traffic, you can close in on those cars in a hurry, and sometimes it can surprise you. Don't need to make a mistake trying to get through some slower traffic. Aaron Smith out of turn 4, coming to 2 laps to go. Oh, Aaron Smith gets the wall on a turn number 2. Pretty good hit to the right rear. Might not be a big deal here. He's got 2 seconds over the 4 of Jaden Hopp, and he's coming out of turn 4 here to look for the white flag. Final lap here from Darlington Raceway. Aaron Smith Got this one well in hand. He's just going to be mistake-free for another 3/4 of a lap. Oh, slips the car just a bit, top of the racetrack. Doing all he can to hang on to that thing. Still plenty of room out the back window for Aaron Smith. Looking through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Looking for 3 in a row here in the IROC Challenge Series. Aaron Smith sees the checkered flag, and he wins at Darlington. Jaden Hopp finishes in the second spot with Brian McCann coming home in P3. Aaron Smith, your race winner. Incredible burnout here on the front stretch, making me dizzy just watching it. Aaron Smith, your race winner here from Darlington, parks it on the start-finish line. With that, we'll be right back. Get the break out of the way. Have our top 3 finishers in the booth after this. Stay with us. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
R&R Racewear, your source to all custom racewear apparel needs, and home to iRacing apparel. Check it out today at rnrracewear.com.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Darlington Raceway, race 3 of the IROC Challenge Series in the books from Darlington. Aaron Smith, well, race 3, win number 3. He's got 3 straight here. Really an impressive run so far to start this season. We're going to bring Aaron into the broadcast booth. Let's see if we can get him in here. Hang on one second. Aaron Smith, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You with us?
Yeah, I've got you.
Aaron, once again, 3 straight. Another win here at Darlington Raceway. Man, you keep clicking them off. You gonna let anybody have a shot at a win here this season?
Well, I certainly felt like I was going to tonight. I feel like Kevin was the class of the field. Well, he and Brian were pretty strong there. I was almost certain I was going to get lapped there on that at the end of my first tire run. I don't know if it was around lap 70 or 80 that I ran my tires out towards, but yeah, fortunately that caution came out and completely turned the tide of the race for me, and it all worked out. I hate that there was some collateral damage from my run back up to the front, but it was a solid race aside from that.
Sometimes you just gotta go, and cutting through the field, you gotta do it kind of carefully just for the sake of saving the car, saving the tires. You did a good job with that. But let's back it up a little bit. Let's talk about qualifying. You look to be having a whale of a run on your hands there for a little bit, and then all of a sudden out of turn 2, you caught a piece of the wall. Walk us through what happened there.
Yeah, I don't think I warmed my tires up enough coming to the start. I feel like the second lap would have been a lot better if I had warmed them up just a tad, but I didn't make it that far to get there, so I wasn't sure if the scrutiny was going to catch me during my slide or not, so I figured I'd just reset and try over, but that didn't really work out. Ended up 7th, probably hopefully my worst qualifying effort of the season, but yeah, fortunately it didn't make that much of a difference.
Well, in racing, typically it really only matters where you finish, not so much where you start. It does help to be towards the front, but either way, you walk out of here with a victory. We put our eyes towards Charlotte Motor Speedway next week. How do you feel about your chances there? I know you're fastest about everywhere we go, but Charlotte's its own animal.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Charlotte. I've been fast there in the previous seasons, as you said, and if we get the long runs that we've had in the last 2 weeks, we should have a solid car. So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll have another good race.
All right, Aaron. Well, again, congratulations on the race win. 3 in a row. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
Well, as always, I'd like to thank all the folks at the IROC Challenge for having me this season and putting on these races. It's been a heck of a season so far. It's been a lot of great racing, and to be able to get her done at a track like this is certainly a pretty positive set for the rest of the season. But I'd also like to thank you for broadcasting and all the folks watching. Looking forward to getting back at it at Charlotte next week.
All right, Aaron. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week.
All right, thank you.
Aaron Smith, your race winner here at Darlington. Next, we're going to pull a second-place driver up into the broadcast booth. And that is none other than Jaden Hopp, driver of the number 4 machine. Jaden, you got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Jaden, congratulations, man. We watched you pull some strategy here a couple of times here tonight. First time it put you out front. You led some laps for a little while. The second time it also put you out front, but you finished in the second position to Aaron Smith. Walk us through that strategy. Was it planned ahead of time, or did this kind of come to you in dream, so to speak?
Not really. It didn't really come to me. I thought the people that pitted behind me on the last caution took tires, so they were going to run me over. So I thought I had a chance, but then Aaron came by because he's so fast, you know.
Well, Aaron actually saved 2 sets of tires. He didn't take his first set. I think it was lap 77. So he strategized and suffered for the first half of the race. Lucky enough not to lose a lap. Was able to bolt on a couple of set of tires in his last couple of stops. So either way, a second place finish for you, though. A solid finish. Almost turned this thing into a win. Can we see some more of that next week at Charlotte?
I think so. I hope so, at least. But I think so.
Well, Jaden, again, congratulations on the second place finish here at Darlington. Who do you have to shout out to before we let you go?
I'd like to shout out my mom and grandma for watching, and you guys for putting on the broadcast.
All right, Jaden. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
It's Jaden Hopp, your second place finisher here at Darlington. Last but not least, we'll pull the driver of the number 3 into the broadcast booth, and that's none other than Brian McCann. Brian, it's Steve in the booth. You got us?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. We're talking to you once again here, a third place finish here at Darlington, man. Talk about your race, what you may have been able to do different strategy-wise that could have put you maybe a spot or even 2 higher up in the running order.
It's really come down to the tires. That one caution that came out about midway, that threw everybody into a loop and didn't really know what to do. And we debated about it and we took tires. I know Aaron didn't, and it turned out to be the right call for him. But driving around this track on 60 lap old tires like we were, it was tough. And thinking about having to go another 30 because we came in and got fuel, I don't know. We didn't even want to try it. So congrats to Aaron there, making the right call. That next caution that came out, that screwed us and helped him. So, I mean, it's just luck of the draw on the cautions and tires. We only get 2 sets, so it makes it extremely difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it really is kind of the luck of the draw there as that caution came out. Aaron even said it in his interview. It kind of saved him because he was for sure going to go down a lap if we stayed under green. It didn't happen. Kind of euchred the rest of you guys. He was able to go to lap 77 before he put his first set of tires on. But it worked out, but still a top 3 finish for you. Next week we go to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and if I remember correctly, that's one of your favorite places. Am I right?
Charlotte, yeah. I'm still learning this car, though. I haven't ran this car outside of this league, so I'm kind of jumping in it new and just experimenting, trying to figure out how to save tire, because this thing just kills the tires if you ain't careful with it.
Well, it's nice to have a race car with some power underneath it. Forces you guys to really drive these things. It's been a great season to watch thus far. Again, congratulations on the 3rd place finish here, and good luck next week, man. Who do you want to shout out to?
Thank you, my wife, my family, everybody watching tonight, you for doing the broadcast, league admins, and race control, and our sponsors. Thank you.
All right, Brian. Well, thanks for talking to us, man, and good luck next week. It's Brian McCann, your 3rd place finisher here from Darlington Raceway. Another great race, a lot of strategy involved. I tell you, if you guys watching in this Streamland and YouTube, if you like strategy racing, even if you're a Formula One guy, come over here and watch these races. I know we're on ovals, and that's a blast, but man, these cars, they've got so much power. They're so fun to watch. Takes a lot of skill and effort to really get a handle on them, but with the fuel loads that this series is running, it's typically about 65% and then only 2 sets of tires for that whole race. It really forces the drivers to think, plan out strategy, take care of the car, take care of the tires all the way to the end. It's been a fun season thus far to watch. So guys, if you haven't really tuned in until maybe just now, make sure you guys are here next week for Charlotte, because that's going to be another doozy to watch. But let's take a look here at our race results. Of course, we talked to our top 3 finishers. Aaron Smith, Jaden Hopp, Brian McCann were your top 3. Neil Quick was 4th. Stan Carnathan finishes in the 5th spot. Kevin McCann was 6th. Ryan Honeycutt was 7th. Jeff Noe finishes in the 8th spot. Timmy Schofield was 9th. Chris Wally was 10th. Great recovery for Chris Wally, coming back, finishing within the top 10. 11th was John Osborne. Trevor Quick was 12th. Mike McDonald was 13th. Garrett Johnston finishes in the 14th position. 15th finisher was Rick Kelly. 16th was Doug Wysocki. Brandon Mefford gets the 17th finishing position. Mike Coach was 18th. Matt Kopp, 19th. Larry Bruner, 20th. Josh Braley was 21st. Josh Funkhauser, 22nd. 23rd went to Adam Johnson, no T. And Doug Thomas credited with the last position, 24th, 101 laps down. Gotta thank you guys all for tuning in tonight. We did have some stream chatters. We always appreciate that. Jerry Krause and Lindsay MW. Only a couple of you guys chit-chatting, but feel free to chime in. I really embrace the stream chat in these broadcasts. I don't know a lot of broadcast platforms that really do. Some do, but I like to interact with you guys. Sometimes you can say, hey, what's going on with so-and-so? Where's this driver? Where's that driver? Hey, I'm watching from Sweden. We used to have a fairly regular visitor. Her name was Haley, jumped into the stream chat quite a bit, watched almost every race with us, and she watched from Sweden. Again, it was like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Just kind of a fun tidbit, but we'd like to know where you're watching from, whether it's Sweden or North Carolina. I don't care. I want to hear about it. I want to hear from you guys. Don't be shy. I don't bite. And if you haven't already done so, please check out the website. We try to put some race pictures up there, whether they're iRacing related or even right from the real racetrack. We're going to get some new ones there pretty soon as we're headed to Watkins Glen here in about a week or so. I have some photos when we come back for that. Also, you have the ability to find the live stream link, at least to the HBR TV side of things. We do dual stream this to not only HBR TV's page on YouTube, but also the IROC series, the IROC TV page on YouTube as well. So you can find us multi-streaming to both of those platforms or both of those pages, same platform. You pick what you want. Doesn't matter to us. Thank you guys for watching. Congratulations to Aaron Smith. We'll see you guys next week at Charlotte. Take care.